Dude, these things are so good. Oh my god. Ah! Anyway, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and happy Friday. So lately I've been reading through the comments for suggestions and whatnot, and one of the more common comments that I'm starting to see is people asking me to rank the quarterbacks again. Now it kind of feels like I just did that, but I checked and the last time I did it was 4 months ago, and that was well before the season started, so I think we can do it. However, since it's Friday, we're gonna have fun with the list today, and you'll see what I'm talking about when we get going. Anyway, a couple of quick plugs before we hop into it. One, head over to gfuel.com, use code WyattzWorld, save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. And for two, if you're 18 years or older, you can head over to Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app, where code WyattzWorld will match up to $100 of your first deposit. Remember, always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright, ladies and gents, so here we are at the almighty list, and this time I have it set up a little bit differently. At the top, we've got the dogs. Below that, we've got the better than most category. Below that, we've got the par for the course category. Under that, we've got the not good but not awful category, and at the bottom, we've got the flat out bad. Alright, so starting off, we've got Geno Smith, and so far this year, he's been a dog. Like 9 touchdowns, 2 picks, and completing 75% of his passes. Man's been an animal. End of discussion. Up next, we've got Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's gonna get his own category called Bend But Don't Break. Every single week, the guy goes out there, gets popped like 5 or 6 times, throws 1 or 2 god-awful interceptions, and is more than likely gonna fumble the ball at least once, but the man gets up every single morning and goes right back to work. I respect it. Moving on, we've got Lamar. Better than most. He has kind of struggled in the passing game the last 2 weeks against, relatively good defenses in Buffalo and Cincinnati, but the guy's still an absolute animal, don't get me wrong. Up next, we've got Carson Wentz, and I'm gonna take a page out of Barstool's book here. Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz. Up next, we've got Daniel Jones. Not good, but not awful. Dude, he's getting the job done, and he's doing everything he can with the help he has, which is very little. Moving on, we got Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is better than most. He ain't a dog right now. He's not on Geno Smith level. And he's also got incoherent receivers, but hey, that ain't his fault. Up next, we've got Matt Stafford. Carson Wentz. Moving on, we got Baker Mayfield. Scam artist. Bitched and moaned to get out of Cleveland, had the entire world fooled that he was actually, just banged up last year and that he could still be great. Goes to Carolina, and week in and week out has just shown that he is absolutely dreadful. All right, on to Davis Mills. He's gonna avoid the bad category. He's bend but don't break. He gets harassed about the length of his neck. He gets harassed about the shape of his head. He single-handedly lost his team the game against Chicago, but you know what he does? Puts on a smile, gets up, and goes to work. I respect it. Moving on, we got Derek Carr. Par for the course. Hear me out. He hasn't been that bad. He hasn't turned over the ball in 2 weeks. His coach is an absolute fucking moron. Like, yeah, sure, he didn't look sharp right away, but simmer down. Derek Carr is not that bad of a quarterback. I can say it a billion times over. He's doing fine. All right, moving on, we got Deshaun Watson. I guess he sneaked in, so we'll throw him in the bad category. Up next, we've got Jacoby Brissett. Not good, but not awful. He's shown glimpses that, he can be a pretty outstanding quarterback at certain times, but majority of the time, Jacoby Brissett, he's just fine. All right, moving on, we got Jalen Hurts. Hear me out on this one. He's my boy. Par for the course, though. Tremendous on his legs. Throwing the ball, man, he hasn't thrown a touchdown in 2 weeks. He's still having the, occasional miss my receiver by 3 miles. Still room for improvement, but I definitely think he's having the best year of his career. Moving on, we got Jameis. I'll put him and Andy Dalton in the same category. Bad. Before Jameis stopped playing, he was horrible, and Andy Dalton's Andy Dalton, man. Moving on, we got Jared Goff. He's a flamethrower, man. Honestly, having a pretty good year, too. He had a bad week against New England, but Jared Goff has been outperforming the hell out of Matt Stafford, if we're being real. Pretty productive, throwing 11 touchdowns and only 4 picks. A huge step up from what he was doing last year. The only thing that's kind of shitty right now is his completion percentage is below 60. That and his team is not very good. Up next, we got Russ. Scam artist. They paid like $250 million for that fucking guy, and he's been a bum. I still bet you guys he will start cooking here at one point during the year, though. Moving on, we got Jimmy G. In his stint so far that he's played, he's been better than most quarterbacks. He's been on fire the last couple weeks for sure. I can't remember when he came in. Was it week 2 or 3 that Trey went out? The man wants blood. He wants revenge. He wants his job back. Still not as good looking as me, though. Moving on, we got Tom Brady. Flamethrower, bro. 57 years old and he's still out there top 5 in passing. Still doesn't turn over the ball. Still knows how to win games, whether it's, cheating or not. Up next, we got Joe Burrow. He's been better than most, dude. Literally, week 1 was his bad week. I know last week wasn't tremendous, but it wasn't as bad as week 1. The middle weeks have been great. Colin Cowherd said it the best. He missed all of preseason. It took him 1 game to get back on his feet. Moving on, we got Josh Allen. Dog. He's the only one so far that's been able to maybe even sit on the same totem pole as Geno Smith, I must say. Following Josh Allen, we've got Justin Fields. Bend but don't break, man. Honestly, I mean, yesterday's game wasn't great by him, but the last drive, that was not his fault. That was his team's. This guy's been through 2 years so far of an awful O-line, awful receivers. There's been times where he hasn't looked good, but when he has looked good, the team hasn't been there to back him up for it. Moving on, we got Justin Herbert. Dog. He's been really, really good this year, and it sucks because it hasn't really been noticed because his team hasn't been doing that good because his coach is kind of a numbskull. Cracked ribs, not cracked ribs. Rashawn Slater, no Rashawn Slater. 10 touchdowns, 2 picks, 3rd in the league in passing. Moving on, we got Kenny Pickett. I ain't gonna shit you, he's a flamethrower. First start was against the Bills. They got killed, but he still went out there and threw for 330 yards. If you watched him versus Mitch Trubisky in the pocket, he looks to throw the ball. Mitch Trubisky looked to protect it. He's gonna throw a lot of interceptions, but I bet you Kenny Pickett's actually gonna be pretty good. Up next, we got Kirk Cousins. If I really wanted to go barstool route here, I'd give him his own category too, but he's been par. He has been heating up too, but he hasn't been looking like the Kirk Cousins that I've been saying he is. Throwing mechanics look a little off. He looks a little awkward at times. I don't know what's quite going on with him, but he's getting the job done and he's 4-1, so fuck off. Moving on, we got Dak, but it ain't Dak. It's Cooper Rush. He gets his own category, man. He hasn't turned over the ball. He hasn't lost an NFL start. Pat on the back. All right, next up, we got Kyler Murray. Par. Haven't really been paying attention to him. Haven't really seen a whole lot of him. Tells me he hasn't been that good. It tells me he hasn't been that bad. Moving on, we got Mac Jones. He has been bad. Bill Belichick didn't even rule out the possibility of him losing his job. Following him, we've got Marcus Mariota. He's been bad. Been really fucking bad. His legs, he might be okay on. Throwing the ball, he looks like shit. Following Mariota, we've got Patrick Mahomes. He's been a dog. I'm so excited for him versus Josh Allen, man. That game should be Sunday night, but the Sunday night game's actually really good too, Dallas and Philly. Maybe move it to Monday so we don't have to watch Denver again. Next up, we've got Ryan Tannehill. Par for the course, dude. He has not been that bad. Honestly, I think for everything he's been giving and his weapons, he's been doing better than he should. Finds ways to drive down the field. He finds ways to score touchdowns through the air. After Tannehill, we've got Tua, a flamethrower, and if he ever comes back, he will continue to be a flamethrower. Scary couple injuries for him, though. I'm really not sure if we're going to see him again this year. I know he's on the field already, but we don't know what that means, dude. After that, we've got Teddy, Carson Wentz. After that, we've got Trevor Lawrence, flamethrower. That's literally what he's been this year, dude. He's slinging the rock. Some games he throws awful interceptions. Some games he looks like the next coming of Christ himself. And last starter we are going to rank is Zach Wilson. Not good, not awful. Gotten to play like, what, 1.5 games this year? I can't judge him yet. All right, guys, and that is it for my ranking or grading of every quarterback through 5 weeks in the NFL. I hope you guys like this list, and I hope you had fun with it. That is going to be all for the day, guys. If you did enjoy this video, you know what to do to show support. Comment, like, subscribe, turn that bell on. I do my best to post on this channel every single day. With everything I just said, I'm going to hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and as always, I will see you in the next video.